Good day folks, the Pro Audio Journalist here. I'm back for tip 2 of my 2-part video titled The Only 2 Tips for Achieving Professional Level Mixes. Tip 1 was partake in active learning sessions in referencing and matching production styles. Tip 2 is actively learn from professional mastering engineers. Have as many mixes as possible mastered by professional level mastering engineers. My advice is find a few professional mastering engineers that tick some boxes. This can take some time, money, and experimentation. Early on in my journey, I wasn't getting any work, and for practice I was mixing literally every session I could get my hands on and paying a mastering engineer to master these mixes. This was purely for my active learning benefit. I was even reaching out to studios and offering to pay for sessions for me to use. I was that eager. I recommend you aim high and at very least have some of your work mastered by the greats at the elite level as a learning experience. But my advice is really aimed at using mastering engineers from whom you can get a regular opinion and advice. Firstly, you need to find mastering engineers that make decisions on your mixes that you agree with. This can definitely take some time, and if you don't have much experience mixing, it's hard to really know if the mastering engineer has made suitable decisions. My advice is trust your gut, especially if it's coming back sounding noticeably better. Before hiring them, listen to as much of their material as possible. Remember, they are the final link in the session chain, so actively judge their work. I suggest having more than one mastering engineer involved in your journey. If they are all giving you the same advice, it will further cement that advice and let you more accurately discern what advice is subjective rather than objective. You need to find mastering engineers whom you are willing to invest in the relationship both financially and from a learning standpoint. This is the most important aspect in my opinion. Discuss with them your situation, and you're wanting someone who will not hesitate to ask for mix revisions if they feel the mix will benefit. I recommend asking the mastering engineers to write a short summary of the mix to be sent along with audio deliverables. I found most mastering engineers are really obliging to give their opinion. Oddly, it was the mastering engineers that were at the top of their game who were the most obliging, so all you can do is ask. There are so many benefits to investing in this relationship. There are obvious benefits you're going to hear, such as errors being somewhat corrected in your mixes, and your work molded sonically to the most professional level possible. You are also inadvertently getting feedback on your monitoring setup because both of you are judging what you are hearing. If you're getting feedback on frequency response, you're going to be constantly assessing your monitoring more than you normally would. There's also a huge benefit to having your mix run through the mastering engineer's analog hardware, especially if you're mixing in the box. Personally, I'm an analog guy, and I only use mastering engineers who use output hardware. I still think it sounds superior. If I hear someone claiming a top mixer is now mixing completely in the box, I usually ask for a picture of their mastering engineer's room. Generally, there's hardware somewhere in the mastering engineer's chain. So if you're mixing in the box, you're learning about the sound and behavior of hardware without even owning any. If you take interest in what signal chains were used by the mastering engineer, you will get to know the character of hardware pieces and be able to request certain pieces of gear that you believe will suit specific projects. You shouldn't underestimate the influence you will have on each other if you are both invested in this relationship. Don't forget that the mastering engineer is on his own audio journey too. His sound is constantly evolving. Just having this relationship is influencing the evolution of the mastering engineer's journey too, even if it's minimal or subconscious. The relationship is going to influence both of you because you have an open dialect of both objective and subjective nature. For me personally, having a great relationship with mastering engineers really honed my low end. If you're using someone at the top of their game, generally they've invested tens of thousands of dollars into their room and monitoring. Your little NS10s certainly are not going to be as revealing in the low end as a pair of $30,000 PMCs. It's worth noting that if you find a good mastering engineer nearby, then I'm sure you could talk your way into either attended sessions or listening sessions. This is going to be another learning experience for you. Admittedly, most mastering engineers like to master when alone, but most are up for a half an hour listening session, especially if you pay for the time. Let's not forget the benefits of simply having a relationship with someone in the industry on a professional level. Eventually it could lead to some work for you. At the very least, you have someone you can rely on with your material. And it's also worth noting that you're not only learning how to improve your mixes, you're also learning about mastering, just in case you wanted to turn to the dark side, Luke. Mixing is all about boundaries. The more you progress, the more you realize it comes down to what is acceptable, what you can get away with sonically, and how much you can push the envelope and it still be considered a professional level mix. The more active learning sessions you do, the better you will get. Any practice is good practice, but let's aim for great practice instead. In summary, finding the right mastering engineers is crucial for improving your mixes. It's an active learning session. Look for engineers whose decisions you agree with, actively listen to their work, and consider having multiple engineers provide feedback. Investing in a relationship with a mastering engineer, financially and through learning, offers numerous benefits, including feedback on your work, feedback on your monitoring setup, exposure to analog hardware, and industry insights. Not to mention, you've gained a friend. If you found a mastering engineer that's helped you along the way, drop their name in the comments and give them a free plug. Okay guys, I'm the Pro Audio Journalist. I'll see you in the next one.